It's been over a year since the tragedy occurred on the set of Rust, where Alec Baldwin shot and killed the cinematographer Helena Hutchins and injured the director Joel Souza. And since that moment in time, Alec Baldwin has been attempting to get everyone to feel sorry for him. He went on air in a live TV interview where he cried and talked all about himself and how this made him feel. And he lied over and over again. He said, "I never pulled the trigger. I never pulled the trigger. The gun just went off." Well, after some investigation, we realized that that was a lie. He lied to everybody to try to save his own skin. And now he is officially being charged for the killing of Helena Hutchins. Alec Baldwin charged with involuntary manslaughter in fatal Rust shooting. That's right. Alec Baldwin is actually going to be facing criminal charges, which I didn't think this was going to happen a couple months after, where we still hadn't heard anything. But after all the investigation, after all this time, they officially announced today that it is happening. Alec Baldwin will be facing charges. Hollywood star Alec Baldwin has formerly been charged with involuntary manslaughter in the fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. Alec Baldwin and the movie's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, we talked a lot about her right after this happened. She was basically more interested in promoting her OnlyFans than she was about actual gun safety. She was the armorer. She was responsible for the weapons on set. Will both face criminal charges for the October 21st shooting of Rust cinematographer Helena Hutchins, the Santa Fe District Attorney announced Thursday. Baldwin and Gutierrez-Reed will each be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter in Hutchins' death. It remains unclear what kind of sentencing they would receive if found guilty. Quote, "After a thorough review of the evidence and the laws in New Mexico, I've determined there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew. On my watch, no one is above the law and everyone deserves justice. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the Rust film set. There's no room for film sets that don't take our state's commitment to gun safety and public safety seriously." This is a very serious situation. As you would expect, Alec Baldwin is already coming out and running defense. His lawyers out there saying, "This is ridiculous. How dare you?" When we all know, if this had happened to somebody else, just a normal person, they probably would have been charged a lot sooner than this. Alec Baldwin's lawyer calls Rust shooting criminal charges a terrible miscarriage of justice. No, you know what a terrible miscarriage of justice is? Is when a big Hollywood star decides that he's going to try to shift all the blame to all the other normal people that are working on this. Even though he was a producer, even though he was responsible for hiring said people, he tried to push all the blame onto them. He had the biggest platform. He went in front of everybody, in front of America, gave this long interview where he tried to make people feel sorry for him and where he lied to people about what happened. There is no physical way that that gun, specifically that type of gun, just went off in his hand without him being the one to depress the trigger. Now, whether it's because it was cocked and he pulled the trigger, or whether he pulled the trigger to decock that gun and he just let the hammer fly, that certainly could have been a thing that happened. Either way, he had the trigger pulled when this happened. And unless there was a terrible mechanical malfunction, which they've already proved there wasn't, then Alec Baldwin was a liar. And he's continuing to lie. New Mexico 1st Judicial District Attorney charged Alec Baldwin with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and now the actor's attorney has spoken out. This decision distorts Helena Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set. He relied on professionals with whom he worked and assured him the gun did not have live rounds. Even if it didn't, he still shouldn't have pulled the trigger. But that's what he did, and that is where we get into a big problem for this stupid piece of shit. He didn't do any of the things he was supposed to do to make sure the people around him were safe, said the DA. They didn't exercise due caution, lack of care on that set. An actor doesn't get a free pass just because they're an actor, emphasizing that Baldwin was being charged as both an actor and a producer on Rust. There you go, the other responsibility that he had as the producer. He said they did say there will be no attempt to arrest Baldwin, and the DA also told the cable newser that Baldwin's camp knew the charges were coming, so they've known that this was happening. The armorer's lawyer also said, "Hey, I'm not responsible for this. She's not responsible," as you would expect attorneys to do. I didn't expect this to happen, but all of a sudden, it looks like Alec Baldwin actually is facing some consequences for his actions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.